You didn't find this video, it found you. Maybe you've been searching for meaning, for clarity, for a sign that the chaos around you has purpose. Or maybe you weren't searching at all, and yet somehow here you are. That's how awakening begins. Not with thunder, but with a whisper that feels strangely familiar, as if something ancient within you just remembered your name. Every soul has a moment like this, a quiet intersection between destiny and free will, where something deep inside says, pay attention, because the universe doesn't speak in words. It speaks in alignments, in timing, in the unseen choreography that places you here, now hearing this. And maybe, just maybe, this is that moment for you. The moment your inner world begins to shift. The moment you realize that what you call coincidence is really communication. You are not broken. You are becoming. The truth is, awakening was never about becoming someone new. It's about remembering who you've always been. The ancestors called it initiation. The mystics called it rebirth. Science calls it transformation. But no matter the language, the message is the same. You were never meant to stay asleep. Welcome to this journey. Welcome to the remembrance. Welcome home. Life unfolds with a perfect rhythm, even when it feels uncertain, even when we can't see the pattern. Every step, every pause, every storm has its place in the divine sequence. We tend to call it coincidence. But coincidence is simply the name we give to divine order when we don't yet understand it. There are moments in your life when something clicks. You meet someone unexpectedly. You hear a phrase that feels like it was spoken just for you. You stumble upon a message, like this one, at the exact instant your soul needs it most. That's not luck, that's alignment. Life has always been speaking to you, through delays, detours, even heartbreaks. The things that once felt like setbacks were actually calibrations, guiding you toward what your higher self already chose. Imagine the universe as a vast symphony. Every choice you make is a note, every emotion a vibration. When you trust the music, even silence becomes part of the song. Timing is not something you master, it's something you remember. You remember that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. That you are not late, not early, you are right on time. Sometimes what you've been praying for doesn't arrive until you become the version of yourself who can recognize it. That's why the wait matters. That's why the detour matters. That's why even the pain serves its purpose. Because life's timing is not designed to punish you, it's designed to prepare you. And once you see it that way, coincidence transforms into conversation, a dialogue between your soul and the source. You begin to understand that the universe isn't happening to you. It's happening for you and through you. Every person you meet, every challenge you face, every miracle that appears is perfectly placed within that larger harmony, reminding you that you were never separate from the rhythm of life itself. So breathe. You're not behind. You're not off course. You're exactly where the universe needs you to be. Every coincidence you've ever lived was life's way of whispering. You belong to something vast, something divine, and it's all right on time. There's a quiet law that governs awakening. Nothing arrives before you are ready to receive it. The wisdom you seek, the guidance you crave, the opportunities you dream of, they have never been far from you. They've always been circling, patiently waiting for your vibration to rise to meet them. Readiness is not about striving or chasing. It's about becoming. Just as a flower cannot bloom before its season, insight cannot open within you before your roots have reached deep enough to hold it. You can't force awareness, you can only prepare the space for it. And so life gives you lessons disguised as waiting, people who challenge your patience, moments that test your faith, not to punish you, but to ripen you. Because the truth is, the universe will never hand you what you want until you have grown into the one who can carry what you need. Every delay has purpose. Every detour holds a direction. The greatest transformations don't happen when you push harder. They happen when you stop forcing and start trusting. When you let go of your need to control the rhythm, you begin to feel the deeper pulse, the one life has been playing all along. Transformation doesn't respond to effort. It responds to surrender. That's why the moment you stop searching so desperately for answers, they often appear in the most ordinary ways. In a line from a song, in a stranger's smile, in the silence between your own thoughts. Life is constantly guiding you. Through alignment, through intuition, through what you once called accidents or mistakes. The missed flight that changed your path, the heartbreak that forced you to meet your own soul, the opportunity that slipped away only to return when you had finally become ready to hold it. These are not coincidences. They are course corrections. Life does not give you what you ask for. It gives you what you require to evolve. And readiness is the invisible bridge between desire and manifestation. So if you find yourself waiting, unsure, restless, impatient, remember, the universe is not ignoring you. It's preparing you. The flower doesn't doubt the sunlight while it's still beneath the soil. It trusts the warmth it cannot yet see. And so must you. Trust your timing. Trust your process. Trust that life is always orchestrating your readiness, one divine unfolding at a time. The tighter you try to hold on, the faster it all slips away. You cannot capture peace by gripping it. You cannot command flow by controlling it. Have you ever tried to hold water in your hands? The more you squeeze, the less remains. This is the art of letting go, the wisdom of surrender that lies at the heart of every spiritual path. The Taoists call it Wu Wei, effortless action, the way of flow. It doesn't mean doing nothing. It means doing without resistance. It's the state where your actions arise as naturally as the river curves, without struggle, without strain, guided by the same intelligence that moves the stars. In this way, letting go is not loss, it's liberation. Because what is meant for you flows effortlessly into your life when your hands are open, not clenched. Control is born from fear. Flow is born from trust. And so life keeps teaching us, through endings, through uncertainty, through the gentle breaking of what we thought we could keep forever, that we were never meant to possess, only to participate. Think of every wave that returns to the sea. It doesn't mourn its fall. It celebrates its return. You too are being carried back, again and again, to your own center. When you stop fighting the current, you begin to feel the peace that was hidden inside the motion. When you stop gripping so tightly to outcomes, you start to realize that everything you truly need has always been arriving, quietly, on time. Letting go is not about giving up. It's about aligning with the rhythm that's already carrying you forward. The river doesn't need to push. The flower doesn't need to strive to open. The wind doesn't resist its own movement. And neither do you. When you release the illusion of control, life becomes a dance again, a graceful exchange between your will and the will of the whole. That is Wu Wei, the effortless action that arises when you trust the unseen current that has always known the way. So breathe. Exhale the need to force. Inhale the art of trust. The more you let go, the more life can move through you perfectly, effortlessly, and exactly as it was always meant to. There is a kind of power that doesn't push, it flows. The sages of old called it Wu Wei, effortless action. It's not the absence of doing, it's the presence of alignment. It means allowing your actions to arise naturally, without the interference of the controlling mind. Without forcing outcomes or wrestling with how, you become like the river, moving, yet never strained. The river doesn't struggle to flow. It doesn't fight the rocks in its path. It simply adjusts, bends, and continues, always finding its way to the sea. What looks like effort from the outside is actually surrender in motion. That is the secret of the awakened life. Not resistance, but responsiveness. The more you align with the current of what is, the less energy you waste fighting what isn't. You begin to notice that the moments when you felt most alive, most inspired, most at peace, were never moments of control, but moments of pure allowing. You weren't trying to feel joy. Joy found you when you stopped grasping for it. You weren't trying to be creative. Inspiration appeared when you got quiet enough to hear it. The paradox of trying is that effort can become the very barrier between you and the state you seek. You cannot try to fall asleep. The harder you try, the more awake you become. You cannot try to relax. Relaxation happens when you release the need to achieve it. You cannot try to be happy. Happiness blooms when you stop chasing it and start being present. Effortless action is the art of removing resistance, of getting out of your own way so life can move through you unblocked. When you trust the current, you begin to realize that you were never the river's engineer. You were always the river itself. Flow is your natural state. The mind complicates it, the heart remembers it. So breathe deeply and soften your grasp. Allow yourself to be guided, not driven, because the true master is not the one who controls the current, but the one who moves with it. That is the essence of Wu Wei, the dance between stillness and motion, the perfect balance between will and surrender. The moment you stop forcing your way through life, you discover that life has been carrying you all along. And in that stillness, you understand you were never meant to push the river. You were meant to flow with it. Who is the one who acts? Who is the one who decides? We say, I breathe, but look closer. Are you breathing? Or are you being breathed? Each inhale rises without your command. Each heartbeat continues faithful, even when your mind forgets it. So who is really in control? The deeper you look, the more this question begins to unravel the illusion of the I. What you call you is not a single entity sitting behind your eyes pulling the strings. It's a vast process of life itself, moment by moment playing through you. The rivers flow, the stars burn, the trees grow, and you too are part of that same movement. The breath that moves through you is the same rhythm that turns the tides. The heartbeat within your chest is the same pulse that echoes through galaxies. The universe is not out there. It's happening as you. Yet the mind insists on separation. The story of the doer, the controller, the I who believes it's in charge of life's unfolding. But look closer. When you laugh, do you decide to laugh? Or does laughter arise? When inspiration strikes, do you summon it? Or does it simply appear as if from nowhere? Life is doing itself, through you as you around you. And when you awaken to this truth, something extraordinary happens. The weight of being the doer begins to fall away. You realize that you were never meant to carry the entire universe on your shoulders. You were meant to surrender into it, to let life live itself through you. The wave does not control the ocean. It is the ocean, rising for a brief moment in form, only to return to its source. Likewise, you are not the separate self trying to master existence. You are existence, momentarily appearing as a self. When you truly see this, fear begins to dissolve. Because how can you fear life when you realize you are life? How can you feel alone when you are inseparable from the totality that surrounds you? The illusion of the separate self was never the enemy. It was the dream. You entered so that you could one day awaken to what you've always been. Consciousness experiencing itself. Through the miracle of your eyes, your breath, your heart. You are not the doer. You are the dance. So ask yourself again, do you breathe or are you being breathed? Let that question stay with you, not as a riddle to solve, but as a doorway to enter. The moment you step through, the boundary between you and life disappears, and only the flow remains. We all carry within us a subtle sense that there's someone inside steering the ship, a little controller sitting behind the eyes, pulling the levers of choice, thinking the thoughts, making the moves. But when you look closely for that I, it begins to vanish. You find not a fixed entity, but a living process. Thoughts arising, emotions passing, sensations flickering in and out of awareness. Everything that feels like you is in constant motion. The Bono controller isn't a thing. It is a story told by the mind to make sense of a dance that is already happening on its own. The truth is, the universe does not require a pilot. It moves in perfect harmony with itself. You were never separate from that movement. You are that movement, moment to moment. There's an old Taoist story about Cook Ding, a humble butcher renowned for his effortless grace. When asked how he could carve an ox with such precision and ease, he said, "I follow the natural spaces. I move with what is already open." His knife never dulled, because he wasn't cutting against resistance. He wasn't trying. He allowed the movement to happen through him. That is the secret of mastery, action without the sense of a separate actor. The musician who disappears into the music, the dancer who becomes the dance, the artisan whose hands move as if guided by something beyond the mind. In those moments, there is no I performing, only the universe, expressing itself perfectly through form. And this is where the great paradox of awakening reveals itself. As Alan Watts would call it, the cosmic joke. We spend lifetimes seeking enlightenment, chasing truth, searching for the divine, until one day we realize the seeker and the sought were never two. You've been looking for what you already are. The mirror was never hiding anything from you. You were simply looking too hard to see your own reflection. When this truth lands in your being, laughter often follows. Not the laughter of mockery, but the laughter of recognition. You see how the entire search was a play, consciousness pretending to be lost, just so it could experience the joy of being found. The doer disappears, the search dissolves, and only pure awareness remains, vast, silent, overflowing with life. There was never anyone controlling the show. There was only the show itself unfolding in divine perfection. So the question now is no longer, who am I? But, what remains when the idea of I is gone? In that stillness, the answer reveals itself. You are the very consciousness you've been seeking all along. Once the illusion of the controller dissolves, what remains is the flow. You begin to sense it not as something outside of you, but as the pulse that is you. This is the divine flow, the living stream of consciousness moving through all things. The same force that spins the galaxies breathes your lungs. The same intelligence that orchestrates the tides beats within your chest. You are not separate from it. You are a unique expression of its movement, and instead, allow your will to harmonize with life's infinite rhythm. This is where true magic begins. Decisions arise effortlessly. People and opportunities appear at precisely the right moment, as if the universe were conspiring in your favor. But it isn't conspiring for you, it's conspiring as you. You are the wave and the ocean, the note and the song, the dancer and the dance. When you live in divine flow, you stop searching for signs because you become the sign. Your very existence becomes guidance for others. Your peace becomes prayer. Your presence becomes a bridge between worlds. And this flow, this universal current, is not something you enter and leave. It is what you've always been. You only had to stop fighting the current long enough to remember. When you trust this rhythm, you begin to live as the universe intended, fully, fearlessly, freely. You realize that letting go was never the end. It was the beginning of belonging. The mind may call it surrender. The soul knows it as reunion. And in that reunion, you awaken to the greatest truth. You and the source were never two. The flow is not guiding you somewhere else. It's guiding you back to yourself. So live like the river, moving, yet at peace. Breathe like the wind, unseen, yet felt everywhere. Love like the sun, shining without asking who is worthy. This is the divine flow, the effortless movement of life through the awakened heart. You were never meant to control it. You were meant to become it. The deeper you awaken, the more you begin to see the world you thought was out there has always been unfolding in here. What you call reality is not a solid stage upon which life happens. It's a living reflection within your own awareness. You never experience the world directly. You experience only your perception of it. The redness of the rose is not in the rose. The sound of the ocean exists not in the waves themselves, but in the miracle of your hearing. Your mind is not a passive camera recording existence. It is an active projector, shaping and coloring everything you perceive. The other sees renewal. The difference is not in the storm. It's in the state of consciousness that meets it. Every emotion, every interpretation, every meaning paints the canvas of the world you call mine. This is not fantasy. It's the deepest law of creation. Perception is participation. The world doesn't happen to you. It happens through you, like a dream responding to the dreamer's awareness. That is why the ancient mystics compared life to a dream, not to say it as unreal, but to remind us it is fluid, responsive, creative. You are both the dreamer and the dream. The stage of the universe, the people you meet, the challenges you face all arise within the infinite field of consciousness you are. When you awaken inside this dream, the ordinary becomes extraordinary. The same world, the same faces, the same sky, but now everything is lit from within. Every tree becomes a teacher. Every moment becomes sacred. Every breath becomes the echo of the divine recognizing itself. The great secret is this: the world does not exist apart from consciousness. It exists because of consciousness. You are not in the universe is in you. And as your awareness expands, the boundaries of what's possible begin to dissolve. You realize that creation isn't a distant act of the gods. It's a living process unfolding within your very being. Every thought is brushstroke. Every feeling as vibration shaping the dream. When you master the world within, the world without follows naturally. Because in truth, there is no without. There is only within. Somewhere along the way, we began to believe that life is a race to succeed, a race to prove, a race to arrive somewhere, anywhere, other than here. We move faster, think faster, scroll faster, chasing a horizon that keeps running away. We live as if there's a finish line waiting. Some moment where everything will finally make sense, where we'll finally be enough. But the finish line is an illusion, because the moment you reach one goal, the mind invents another. The mountain peak you've been climbing for years becomes just another starting point for the next ascent. And so we keep running, breathless, anxious, always behind. But behind what? Behind a story, behind an illusion, behind a version of life that was never meant to be won, only experienced. When you treat life as a race, you trade the texture of each step for an imaginary future that never arrives. You forget that the sound of the rain, the laughter of your child, the warmth of morning light on your face, these are the milestones. This moment is not a checkpoint. It's the whole journey. What if the purpose of life is not to get somewhere, but to fully arrive here? What if slowing down is not falling behind, but finally catching up to your soul? It takes courage to stop running. To pause in a world addicted to progress and whisper to yourself, I am enough right here. To step out of the race is not laziness. It's liberation. Because the only way to win the race is to realize there was never one in the first place. Time was never chasing you. Life was never measuring you. The universe has no stopwatch, only rhythm. And you are part of that rhythm. When you stop competing with life, you begin to dance with it. You begin to notice that every breath, every silence, every small act of awareness is already a victory. So slow down. Feel the ground beneath your feet. Listen to the quiet music of now. Life is not a race. It's a rhythm, an unfolding, a heartbeat in eternity. You were never meant to rush your way to peace. You were meant to remember that peace was walking beside you all along, waiting for you to stop. And finally notice. Be still for a moment. Let everything you've heard, everything you've felt, settle like dust after a storm. You are not behind. You are not lost. You are not unfinished. You are right on time, a perfect note in the eternal song of creation. Every lesson, every delay, every heartbreak was part of the rhythm that led you here, to this moment of remembrance. You are not here to chase the light. You are the light, remembering itself through the eyes of form. So take a breath. Feel the miracle of being breathed by life itself. The same current that moves the stars moves within you. The same consciousness that dreamed the galaxy's dreams through your human heart. There is nothing you need to force, nothing you need to become. Just flow, just trust, just be. And as this video comes to its end, remember, awakening has no end. It unfolds in the quiet moments, in the laughter of a stranger, in the stillness between breaths. You are the dreamer awakening within the dream. You are the universe remembering its own name. So walk gently, love deeply, and when the world begins to rush again, come back here to this still point within you. Because the way home was never out there. It was always here in your awareness, in your breath, in your heart. Before we go, let's affirm. If this message found you at the right moment, it means you were ready to hear it. Subscribe if you haven't already, stay connected, and join this growing circle of awakening souls. Share this light. Because someone else, somewhere, is waiting for their moment of remembrance too. Remember, you are the flow. You are the light. You are home. Until next time, Universal Consciousness, signing out.